Hi, and welcome to Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. I'm Gabriella Espinosa, and I'll be taking us through a soul realignment process for the next 30 minutes. This show is a healing session on our relationship with Spirit, our concepts about God and Spirit, and it's a healing on our own personal form of spirituality. Pure Soul Alchemy is a transmission of channeled healing technologies which restructure your creative source grid. It's a channeled energetic field where transformative operations and procedures are enacted for you while you comfortably relax. Through my perception and vocalization of the inner energetic grid, we are open in ways which allow these technologies to come into our physical reality and enact change on our behalf. Be sure to be in a place where you can lay down and relax deeply to receive the session. If you would like to know more about ways you can receive Pure Soul Alchemy healings, go to www.puresoulalchemy.com. So it is a great idea to go back and listen again repeatedly to deepen the effects of the session and take the healing further. I will establish links with our higher selves and our guides and helpers. I'll listen to all of us and then report my impressions of what I hear to the best of my ability. Through this reporting, your system and I interpret the information and align our conscious volition to proceed with the recommendations of our guides. Our unified front empowers, strengthens, and amplifies the energetic operations as they are taking place. My energetic system orients itself with the support of my guides to serve as a proxy for the operations on your behalf so that you may receive the realignment in more comfort and ease. If you don't understand some or any of the words that I am speaking, or even if you find yourself falling asleep, don't worry. What's most important is that you relax as deeply as possible to receive the energy transmission of the operations rather than trying to stay alert and focused on the wordings or ascribing any real-time meanings to them. Now take some deep breaths and bring into your awareness and into your heart one area, dilemma, or question in your life having to do with your relationship to spirituality, God, or the divine. It can be about your experiences in early childhood or early life. It can be about your parents' influences and or expectations concerning God, religion, spirituality, etc. Or it can be anything that you feel has held you back from developing or maintaining a strong connection to your own divine essence. You may write it in chat right now, or you may just hold it in your heart self-awareness while you listen in. It will get addressed. Plus, you will receive healing on whatever everyone else who is listening in is working on too. Okay, I will read some of our healing intentions requests right now, and then we'll go into the session. So one person would like a healing on my relationship with God on all levels, so I can be more connected on all levels and open to receive all that our divine has in store for me and us. Another person wrote in, I really don't feel connected. When I need help, I feel I have nothing to turn to, and so I'm asking for higher upper guidance, signs, anything. Another person wrote in, my dilemma is, if God is good, why does he or she allow the powers that seem to be to wreak havoc on our planet? Another healing request, sometimes I feel unprotected and unloved by higher guidance. And another person would like healing on internal interferences that impede their ability to connect personally with the divine. And I'm going to include external, because there are external influences as well. Another person would like a healing on cult-like addictions from the past cult membership recovery. Another person would like healing. She says, I'd like to connect with my spiritual path and guide. I want to be in relationship with God's Spirit and be in choice about my life and stay in my personal power and will simultaneously. And another person says, I'd like a guiding practice and a spiritual guide. Great. So I'm going to put all of this into the session. And we're going to start with our invocation. We're going to start by calling forth all of the Ascended Masters, calling in all of the Archangels, and we're establishing a heart link with the soul star above the head, the incarnational star in our abdominal region, and establishing a heart link with our earth star below our feet. And we are flowing the microcosmic orbit through and around all of these centers, including our heart center. And we're establishing a heart link with the great I Am presence, with divine Mother, Father, God essence, Creator, Source, establishing a heart link with the elementals, the nature, fairy, and Devic spirits, with the animal, plant, and mineral kingdoms, the earth, the spirit of the earth, and we're connecting in with all of our higher levels of consciousness and all of our higher councils all the way to Divine Source. Right, we're going to start with clearing impediments to our own higher relationship within our divine essence. Great. I'm going to do some focus clearing there to begin. Great. So while that is going, that is clearing, I'm going to do some IET work, some integrated energy therapy. And we're going to ask our higher guides, Archangel Raphael, to come in and palpate the back of the neck, the points, the IET points on the back of the neck. Great. So we are infusing support, safety, security, and at the same time, we're releasing, breathing out any feelings, trapped feelings of threat and or control from this region of our beings, our bodies. So we are releasing threat. We're having threat released on our behalf. Great. So that is going to continue to keep clearing out for us. Right, so I'm getting guided right now to do some subtle energy release of bitterness for all of us. And I'm purposefully leaving it general and ambiguous as to what it's about, because there's different manifestations and reasonings, rationales, circumstances that led to this bitterness for all of us. So each of us in our own way, letting go of, releasing bitterness, and as well as the toxic effects of it. Thank you. Great. So we're doing a clearing on this piece about maintaining personal empowerment, full connection with our personal will, simultaneously as we deepen our connection with God, Spirit, Source. And that can happen in any relationship where we just may have a subconscious level belief that in order to be loved or connected with anyone, whether it's God or a friend or a family member, that we have to let go of a part of who we are in order to be in that relationship. So we're doing a clearing on that right now. Great. So we're also going to do some releasing of control, because there is a part of being in relationship with God, Spirit, the Divine, as well as with anyone, where there's a level of surrender that is called for. And of course, this is a surrender of our ego identifications that are not healthy for us. So it is a fine line. It's a dance. So we're clearing on that other aspect as well. Okay, there's another emotion that we want to release, and this is defensiveness. So clearing, releasing, letting go of, and surrendering defensiveness in relationship to God, spirituality, the divine, our infinite divine selves. Okay, so what's coming up, we have all of these processes that are still going. What's coming up to clear next is, how do I describe, life really not showing up the way we would like it, or being unpleasant, and okay, so there's a certain level of blaming, attributing to that to our relationship with God, or God's lack of care for us, Spirit's lack of care. Great, so we're just going to do some discharging of this blame and personalization. When things seem to not be going our way, it's very easy to take it personal. And when we can let go of that, we're much more open to receiving the learnings that situation has for us. All right, so this is for several individuals, and there's a certain level of uncertainty that is ascribed to having a relationship with God and God, Spirit, Divinity. And it's not true, and yes, it is at the same time. So let's just clear on that. Do some remediation to any challenges that poses for us. All right, so, we've got all of these processes going. There is an Orasoma bottle that I'm going to bring in. I'm going to channel in for us today. This one is called Candle in the Wind. Bottle 84 is pink over red, and you can find that on my website if you're curious as to what that looks like. I'm going to read a little bit about it as we are infusing and installing the vibrational healing support of this bottle, this Orasoma bottle. I let go of what has gone before, that I may open myself to the power of love. A sense of vulnerability, a strength towards a higher purpose. Vulnerability, compassion, and the energy towards a higher purpose. An awakening to what love is. The love which is the source or the basic ground of existence, brings both caring and desire in awakening. This bottle is really about grounding our love, our loving essence, solidly into our beings. Great, and on that note, we're going to do some clearing of our connection with the earth. Great, so we're clearing our connection with divinity, and we're also going to clear in the other, we'll say direction. We'll do a root chakra clearing, along with clearing our relationship with earth. Great, so along with doing that clearing between ourselves and the earth, our relationship, our connection with the earth, let's do some infusion of the quality of strength. Yes, strength and love. into that connection. I want to offer a little explanation while that is being worked on. As we can think of ourselves as a tree, and as we want to branch out and reach for our higher aspects, our higher guidance, spirit, what we need to do as well is strengthen our connection with our grounding, with the earth, so that we are stable, solid, rooted as we reach to the highest heights. That is still going really strong. And I want to do a little bit of direct healing work on cult addictions, cult-like addictions, past cult membership recovery. I want to extend this clearing out to all of us because whether or not we have ever or are in a cult of any kind, we can have, how do I put this? We can have a little bit of a skew in our relationship with those earth plane organizations or spiritual teachers, leaders. So we want to do some clearing on that right now for all of us. Because spirituality is about empowerment on all levels. It's about our whole being intact, empowered, in the love, and connected. So any organization or person or being that asks us to give up some of our power, that's a clear indicator that that's just not good for the whole of our being. So let's clear on that. And finding our way to strengthen healthy connections with those persons, organizations, beings that are there to help. Maintaining personal integrity, personal empowerment, as well as full spiritual connectivity. Okay, so what's popping up here to work on is this request: I'd like a guiding practice and a spiritual guide. So let's just clear any blockages, impediments, interferences, whether they're internal or external, that keep us from doing our regular practice or a regular practice that we already have. So taking on a new regular practice or really committing to doing our regular practice that we have in place already. And for those who are wanting, their soul is wanting, opening up the way for a spiritual guide. Be a person on the physical plane, could be a non-embodied, benevolent spirit. And clearing. Impediments, interferences, blockages, distractors, distractions, anything that interferes with us doing the things that help root us into our grounding and aligning us with Source, with our higher guidance. Okay, so keeping this general, and there's one piece here that's popping up that we want to be a little specific on, and that is the distraction of focusing too much on those around us rather than focusing and taking action for ourselves. Clearing there. Great, so we've come to the end of our show, and I'm intending that these healing clearings continue throughout the rest of the day. I'd like to thank you for joining us for Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. To learn